Hi, I'm going to show you today how to create a cluster cloud. So I go to Google's console, which is console.cloud.google.com. I choose the project in which I'm going to create the cluster. I also want to first make sure that the API for creating the clusters is enabled. So if I go to enabled APIs and services, I will make sure that the Kubernetes engine API is enabled for this particular project. Once I've done that, I go to GKE, another name for Kubernetes engine, another cluster, create. I'm going to use the standard configure mode. Give it a name. This time it gives me cluster-2 because I already have one running with the name cluster-1. I'm going to create zonal. I'm going to choose zonal because that's going to save us some money. I'm going to use release channel just to keep things default in that space. The version is whatever default it gives me. Google is really good about telling you about cost upfront. It's telling me this is going to cost me $158 a month if I kept it running for all 30 days. But for an hour, it's going to be 22 cents. So because I'm going to create this and then delete it later or right away, it's not going to cost me any more than a few cents. So before I actually create the cluster, I want to show you in the command line equivalent that shows you all the little parameters. For example, there are 3 nodes, and each one of those nodes is of type E2 medium, and so on and so forth. The zone, whatever deep parameters there are, is going to show up over here, so you know exactly what you're creating. Go ahead and click create. And in a second, the window will change. This process takes about 8 minutes. While it's doing that, I'm going to show you some of the tabs. In this tab, you can see all kinds of good metrics that helps you monitor the cluster, which is very, very helpful in production. You get it for free with the money that you already pay for the cluster itself. If I choose these 3 dots, right now all I can do is connect. This is useful or necessary before you can use kubectl to connect to the cluster and run commands to admin it through command line. I will pause the video here and I'll come back to it after the cluster has been created. And that's about it for today, and we'll see you next time.